Alright, back on the bike again. Next day. Scooby's here helping too. Scooby, what are you doing? Yeah. Alright, let's see. I left off last night when the camera died. We had, I just got done making the plug wires. So they're all made. I haven't done any of the zip tying yet, but have to get it done. So now we're at the point we're going to time the ignition. So we're going to have to pull out the timing plug down here and the spark plugs. And make sure all is good. Scooby looks really happy. Are you happy, Scooby? Scooby's happy. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and get this stuff out, see where we're at. Scooby's going to get in the way like he always does. He likes that part. Alright, so first thing I do is get the plugs out of it. So this is spark plug and this is time hole plug. Nice and noisy. What are you doing, Scooby? Always like putting the spark plugs in the plug wires so they don't short out. They go right to ground. When you put them on the motor mount, you can actually see them spark when you set the timing. Alright, they're up on the motor. Timing all plugs out. Alright, so if this is a regular bike, you'd have to jack up the rear of the bike and turn the rear wheel, turn the motor over. Being a belt drive system, you have access to belt drives. You can come right off the crank here. Oh, where's the light off? Or you can just manhandle it back here, rotate it by hand. Your choice. So the plugs are out. They're laying up on the motor mounts. So when they spark, I'll see them. And time out plugs right there, so you can see your flywheel. So I got to find me a socket here. It looks like about a 1 5/16 would be my guess. Maybe 1 3/8. Let's see what I got in sockets around here. Well, there's a 5/16. I have yet to find my sockets yet, so must be 3/8. These are my overflow sockets. There's 7/16. There's 1 or 2 of these. 5/16 again. That looks bigger. 3/8. Should be one of these. Okay, we got kind of a bar anywhere? Nope. Should be a breaker bar in here somewhere. Oh yes. One up here. Okay. 3/8. Bingo. If you look at this socket, it's been modified. See, these are stock ones. See how they're got a good chamfer here on the inside. See how this one's been machined flat, so there's no chamfer. So you get more nut contact. Okay, so what we gotta do is put this in here. Don't hit the foot peg there and try to stay out of that. Okay, I'm not sure where we're at, so we gotta figure out the compression. Scooby's over here trying to figure out what he wants to do. What do you want to do, Scooby? You don't know yet. Okay, so stand over here. So, it goes there. It's going to be my way. Okay, I use a Phillips screwdriver for a top dead indicator. If you use a straight slot, it can break off on you. Phillips don't break very easy. So we can see our pistons are all the way up right now in the rear. It's not on the front at all. Okay. We were sucking there. So that means we're not on compression in that hole. We're starting to make compression now. So you put your screwdriver in the hole. Keep it straight up down, not over the side. It doesn't bend. So you start getting close. Come down and look at your mark. And there you go, TDC. It's a good time to see what your TDC mark looks like. In this case here, it's just a line. So that tells me it's a genuine Harley flywheel and not an S&S or Ultima or somebody, because they'll have a TF there instead of just a line. So as suspected, it's a stock 80-inch motor. What a shocker. So now we're on the compression stroke on the front cylinder. And that's where we need to be to set the timing. Alright, interruptions. We back. Alright, we're back. Interrupted. Alright, we got the plug wires and timing all set over here right now over there. So next thing is we turn the switch on, which is over here. See if the light came on. It did. So that means we got power to the ignition. So now it's just a matter of timing it, which isn't really that hard to do. You need a fine screwdriver to do that. So I need something like one of these here. One of these two ought to get in there. A regular screwdriver. Okay. So we just loosen these up a little bit more just to make sure they're loose. They are. Okay, you rotate this back. And you go forward until the light goes off. You can't get near this stupid ass one. Ah. Okay, it's not going on and off like it's supposed to. It should trigger off. There it goes. So it has to be way over there on this one. Okay. So, okay, put it where it's almost off. Put light tension on the screw here, not very much, just a little bit, just so the plate's all the way down. And you take your little screwdriver and you go right here in a little notch right there. And you rotate it up slowly till the light just goes off. Right there. And lock it down. And you're timed. So the next thing we do is, let's go see where the timing is really at. Okay, so we usually don't go backwards, but on this one we can go backwards. It's a modern bike. Okay, so now we're going to go around till we see where we get spark at. There's your dot right there. Dot means that's a timing mark for where it fires. So TDC will be coming up next. Yeah, there's TD right there. See if we get a spark. So I'm moving it back and forth to try and initiate a spark. Yep, I heard something. There it is. See the spark on the front cylinder, but not the rear one. Moving it too fast. Right there is where it sparked. Let's go over here and see where it's at. The light's still on for some reason. Why is the light still on? Light should be off. It sparked. It's weird. And where's our mark at? There's no mark there. That's another weird thing. Yeah, it went late also. Sparked right there. There's our TDC. So it's sparking way advanced, like it, I guess it should, because that's where it fires at, I guess. Okay, so now our light is still off. So I'm going to go ahead and move this down just a little bit until that goes off. See how that just blinked off? Turn the ignition off. And there's our line right dead center. That's where it sparked at. And like I said, the firing was actually way over here, about in this area here. Somewhere. It was before our mark here though. That's probably at 30 degrees. It probably fires at 35 degrees or something. Because I got it marked, I got it bounced up. It should be about 36 total lead in it. Okay, so anyway, that all looks good. So now the ignition timing is set. So now we go ahead and put everything back together. These ignitions aren't very hard to fire, the time I mean. If you want to check the rear cylinder timing, you can do it 180 around and it'll fire on that cylinder instead of this one. Goes back and forth. And I'm not getting a lot of oil out of the crank either, which you would think you'd have a lot of oil coming out of your time plug down here when we have to turn it over. If you had 3/4 oil in there, because that tank's empty. So I wonder if this thing even has oil in the motor. Maybe they drained the tank, I don't know. So without knowing which one, we're going to put some oil in the tank. Have to figure that one out. Yeah. Torque on that, not too much. Good. Good. Rear hole, rear plug wire. Front one gets the front. Okay, so timing is done on that. So we got our plug wires back on it. We plugged up the hole down below. So now the timing is done. So we still have to do something about the gas petcock puking his guts out. So we got a new one of those to put in there yet. And in the oil tank, we got some oil in it before we start it. All right, we'll get to that next. Some more tools.